In the headlines, Abuja-Kaduna train service resumes after 8 months of suspension. APC presidential candidate Tinubu promises to recruit more teachers, give students loan. Benue State Commissioner abducted by gunmen along Ado-Otukpo Road. Away from Nigeria, Sudan's military-civilian factions sign framework deal aimed at ending crisis. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Passengers have been assured of their security as the Abuja-Kaduna train service resumes operations on Monday. The Nigerian Railway Corporation had suspended the operation of the train service linking Abuja to Kaduna on March 28th after terrorists attacked the train around Kateri Rijana area of Kaduna State. During the attack, the train was carrying 362 passengers, 62 of whom were kidnapped. Noel Samson reports that the train departed Idu train station at 9:45 a.m. for Kaduna for the first time in more than 250 days.
It is good news for passengers that the train shuttle service between Abuja and Kaduna resumes after a long period of suspension. The Nigerian Railway Corporation said it has taken measures to ensure sustainable security for its passengers. The atmosphere at Idu station is reassuring as operation commences fully, with the train departing Idu station in Abuja at 9:45 a.m. It is expected to arrive Kaduna at 11:53 a.m.
Well, you wouldn't have expected to have full complement of passengers being the first day. And the decision to resume service today was taken within a short notice. But I hope that going forward, you will see there will be improvement in the passenger turnout. Security issues are not discussed in the open, because if you discuss in the open, our detractors will go and strategize. So, by the special grace of God, we are on top of it.
Passengers expressed joy as operations begin, saying they have waited so long for the operation to resume.
I was so excited, extremely excited when I learned they are going to start the program today. So much so that I was the first to arrive at the station.
I'm happy, and I think it's the right direction, coupled with what have happened, and people are still living in fears of traveling by even the road and the train now. So it might be apprehensive, but we can't continue to live in fears.
Although some passengers still face difficulties booking their tickets, they testify that there have been security beef up.
Yeah, the issue that I had yesterday in the night when I was trying to get a ticket, the time, because I booked 9:45. When they were trying to issue me the tickets, they gave me 3. That is afternoon instead of morning. That is the only issue.
Some of us had was the buying of the tickets. It wasn't the way it was supposed to be, because the online ticketing, which most of us used to, we go through to buy the ticket, we go through to get the ticket, was a bit difficult. There have been a lot of securities, and the policemen, the civil defense are on board. A lot of screenings before you check in.
However, Nigerians want the federal government to beef up security in all parts of the country, not only at the rail stations and rail tracks, to guarantee free movement of people. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, as the Abuja-Kaduna train service resumes operations on Monday, passengers have expressed satisfaction with the security measures put in place and called on the government to sustain them in order to ensure the safety of passengers. The resumption of the train service also revived businesses that were hitherto crippled at Rigasa train station due to the suspension of the train service as a result of terrorist attacks. Bello Musa has more.
In the early hours of Monday, December 5, life returned to Rigasa train station. There is proper scrutiny of passengers' identity and their luggage prior to boarding. Security measures have also been intensified to ensure the safety of passengers boarding the train. Some of the passengers react to security measures put in place for their safety.
Part of the checking in is much better with the introduction of NIN and our profile picture showing as we were asked to check in, which is very, very good. We also employ the government to also deploy other security measures like the use of drones to monitor and surveillance cameras as well. That was also helping in a very long way to ensure that things work fine. But to log online, around 10 a.m. yesterday, I went to the app, I put in my NIN number, and then I went ahead and I booked my ticket. So it was easy and seamless.
With the resumption of this train, I think it shows that the government is doing the right thing and ensuring that to give passengers an ease of life in taking people to Abuja.
Very nice, same experience as usual, and even more refilling and fulfilling experience than before from the station down to this place. We are so glad to resume the service. We are so glad to resume with the train station services. We are so glad.
This passenger, who refused to reveal her name, missed the first Kaduna-Abuja train due to an unsuccessful online booking attempt.
And I don't know, yesterday I tried to buy online and the system was not just giving me ticket. So I came here physically. I've been on the queue for over 40 minutes. And I see some people with tickets and I have not been able to get.
Do you see any behind the scene?
I haven't seen anything, but who is going to enter the train? Is somebody sabotaging the movement of the train? You see?
Did you book your ticket?
It's going. I tried to book, but the network was not giving me. Their platform was down.
Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Yakini Ayoku, who was at the Rigasa train station, assured passengers of maximum security.
Ordered for the deployment of critical assets of the force to man the train, the railway route, and facilities along the route, stations along the route. Assets of the force include both operational and intelligence assets to ensure safety and security of the train and of the passengers going forward. We have come to see the level of deployment and compliance with the IGP's directive.
While business activities at the Rigasa train station are resurfacing, with traders and taxi drivers spotted around the station.
Actually, we suffered a lot. We suffered a lot because this is the only thing we know. Driving is our job. For quite some time, we are not working, and now we are back to our work. All of us are happy.
Saboda yau da jirgin nan ya dawo aiki, da safen nan ka zo nan ma za ka sha wani abun bai faru ba.
With the resumption of train service, jobs that were lost will be restored, while economic activities at Rigasa community will receive a boost. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has ordered the deployment of armed personnel for the commencement of railway services along Abuja-Kaduna route from Monday, December 5th, 2022. This is contained in a statement on Sunday by the Force Public Relations Officer, Muyiwa Adejobi. According to the statement, the deployment covers major railway stations along the route and operational coaches to provide adequate security for passengers, their property, and the entire service in order to prevent any unforeseen incidents. The IGP therefore assures the general public, especially intending passengers, of adequate protection of lives and property, as all hands are on deck to fortify the railway services along the route and other rail lines across the country. The Benue State Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Ekpe Ogbu, has been kidnapped. He was kidnapped alongside Agbo Ode with one of his in-laws and the driver. It was gathered that they were kidnapped along David Mark's farm after Akpa Otobi while on their way from Otukpo to Utonkon in Ado local government area of the state. The commissioner was said to have attended a church program where Senator Abba Moro, representing Benue South Senatorial District, dedicated his newly inaugurated campaign council to God at St. Augustine Catholic Church, Otukpo, and was going to his village in Utonkong district of Ado local government area after the church program before meeting the unfortunate incident at about 8:45 p.m. on Sunday, 4th of December 2022. His official vehicle has been recovered from the scene and taken to the Divisional Police Office in Otukpo. Now, terrorists numbering about 6 wearing female attire attacked Sayaya village of Matazu local government area of Katsina State, killing one Hamisu Mahmuda. The bandits went to Sayaya village in search of a Dane gun fabricator whom they believe is supplying weapons to local vigilante corps in the area. The terrorists, who disguised as female visitors, went to Sayaya village around 9:30 p.m. looking for the local blacksmith, but could not find him. In their frustration, the hoodlums opened fire, killing the said Hamisu Mahmuda, who was a former secretary of Matazu local government area. Still on security matters, police in Katsina have arrested one Sani Bello of Sabwa local government area of the state, who specialized in making charms to terrorists in the state. Sani Bello, a suspected soothsayer, was also said to be a collaborator to terrorists. Abdullahi Amadi reports that the police also arrested suspected armed robbers terrorizing residents of the ancient city.
According to police, the suspect has been making and delivering charms and spiritual bulletproof jackets to terrorists around Funtua Sabwa axis. The suspect admitted working closely with the terrorist groups and providing them with charms. Similarly, police operatives in Katsina are investigating a syndicate of 5 suspected armed robbers who specialized in scaling and breaking into people's houses to rob them of their monies and other valuables. Yes, I and other members of our gang have been in this criminality for long. In fact, we participated in many armed robbery in the Asian city. The most recent before our arrest is at Dutsen Amari quarters in Katsina Metropolis. Also in the police custody is a notorious gang of drugs peddlers who were arrested in possession of 134 parcels containing dried leaves suspected to be cannabis sativa. The suspects Bashir Lawal, Umar A. Adam and Zainab Umar from Ibadan, Oyo State were arrested in Katsina en route Maradi in Niger Republic through Dankama border. We take cannabis sativa from Ibadan in Oyo State to Maradi in Niger Republic through Dankama Ajay axis, which is our usual route. This is the second time we are passing through that border, and we hope you will temper justice with mercy. In the same vein, the police is investigating a notorious motorcycles thief, Bashir Anjuma alias Turmi, who has been in the police wanted list. The 23-year-old suspected thief was apprehended in possession of 2 stolen motorcycles in Katsina.
In fact, many more other motorcycles are coming on, but so far we have recovered these 2 motorcycles as investigation is ongoing.
The command is enjoining good people of Katsina State to ensure proper moral upbringing of their children and always provide vital information that will lead to defeating criminals and their collaborators. Abdullahi Ismail Amadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Nigerian military fighter jets have eliminated 7 wanted Zamfara terrorist kingpins. The notorious bandits were eliminated in Kaduna State by airstrikes of 2 Nigerian Air Force NAF attack jets. Those killed including Jibrin Gurgu, Isa Jauro and Tambol from Zamfara State. Others are Noti, Bala, Yunusa and Burti, who was a well-known associate of another sought-after terrorist, Haladu Buharin Yadi. A defense intelligence operative told journalists that the operation, which resulted in the killing of the wanted terrorist, was undertaken by the air component of the Operation Wasp Punch at identified terrorist hideouts in Alhaji Ganai location, Buhari new location, and Dogon Maikaji, all in Giwa local government area. Now, spokesperson Air Commodore Edward Gabwet confirmed the airstrikes. And now on political matters, the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has promised to recruit more teachers and also give students loan as part of efforts to develop the education sector and also build the youth capacity. Tinubu made the promise at the British Royal Institute in London. Tinubu, while fielding questions from participants at Chatham House, acknowledged that youths are the greatest assets of tomorrow, adding that they will form part of his all-inclusive government. He vowed to tinker with some areas in the education sector and overhaul some other parts with the philosophy that no one will be left behind. To further help young people, he said that if elected, his government will equally introduce technology hubs where youths can acquire digital skills to better develop their leadership skills.
Youths are part of today, but they are the greatest asset for tomorrow. We need to prepare them from now, from our all-inclusive government. The youth has been part of that. Yes, the education system is to change. We overhaul it. Tinker with some areas with the philosophy that no one will be left behind. There be student loan for all the students. We are going to reform the Almajiri system. We are equally going to build additional schools and recruit more teachers and train them well.
Now, the People's Democratic Party PDP Presidential Campaign Council has announced former Speaker of House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara as member with immediate effect. The Director General of the Campaign Council, Aminu Tambuwal, in a statement on Sunday, said Dogara's appointment is part of continuous effort in joining hands with presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to recover Nigeria. Dogara had of late led a group of mainly All Progressives Congress members of northern extraction to adopt Atiku as candidate for the 2023 presidential election. The lawmaker representing Bogoro Das Tafawa Balewa Federal Constituency had condemned the APC's same-faith ticket of Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at tackling the menace of underage begging. Details of this and more after the break.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thanks for staying. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. Abuja-Kaduna train service resumes after 8 months of suspension. APC presidential candidate Tinubu promised to recruit more teachers, give students loans. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned the candidate of Angpa 2 constituency for Kogi State House of Assembly under the New Nigeria People's Party, Ismaila Atumei, before the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. He was arraigned on 8 counts alongside 2 others in connection with an alleged 1.4 billion naira bank fraud. The other 2 defendants are Ngene Dominic and Abdul Malik Salou, a former bank employee. In count 1, the EFCC alleged that the former bank employee Abdul Malik Salou, between August and October 2022, within the jurisdiction of the court and without lawful authority, directly caused modification of the data held in the network of Union Bank PLC, leading to the transfer of 1.4 billion naira to the account of 5 Oil and Gas Limited, and thereby committed an offence contrary to and punishable under Section 16(1) of the Cybercrimes Prohibition Prevention Act of 2015. In another count, the 3 defendants were said to have conspired to directly conceal the 1.4 billion naira in the account of Fave Oil and Gas Limited, which sum they reasonably ought to have known forms part of the proceeds of unlawful activity, and they thereby committed an offence contrary to Section 18A, 15(2)A of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended and punishable under Section 15 of the same Act. At the arraignment on Monday, the EFCC, through its counsel Rotimi Oyedepo, SA, and told the court, presided over by Justice Tijani Ringim, that the offences border on concealment of proceeds of fraud, money laundering, and cybercrime. In a similar vein, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has launched a manhunt for the arrest of Kano Central senatorial candidate under the ruling All Progressives Congress, Abdul Karim Abdul Salam Zaura. EFCC counsel Ahmad Roga disclosed this to journalists on Monday at the resumption of the criminal trial of $1.3 million slammed on A.A. Zaura at the Federal High Court sitting in Kano. Although the scheduled arraignment of the Kano-based politician could not hold because of the absence of the trial judge, who is said to be attending other national issues outside Kano, the EFCC lawyer declared that Zaura was supposed to report himself to the commission. On his part, counsel to the accused person, Ibrahim Waru, faulted the position of EFCC, insisting that the commission did not possess any legal authority to arrest his client. The arraignment was adjourned to January 30, 2023. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule says northern governors are making collective efforts to address the menace of street begging, especially by underage children, often referred to as Almajiri. Governor Sule stated this at an event in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented in our studio.
Well noting that there is a marked difference between the street beggar and the Almajiri, who is generally a seeker of knowledge, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State said the northern governors are disturbed over the increasing situation where some parents send their children to faraway places, mostly across states, without preparing for their upkeep, thereby leaving such children to roam the streets and surviving through begging. Sule, who said no one can deny Muslims the right to acquire knowledge, however, noted that henceforth should desist from sending away their children without arranging how to shelter, feed, clothe, and take care of their medical needs. He assured that leaders in the northern states will do their best to not only modernize but sanitize the system.
As a government, we will do our best. Some of these children are not studying because after leaving school, they won't be seen again until evening. When we were children, we spent most of our time studying, but most of these children attend lessons once in a day.
For Mustafa Abdul Qadir, an advocate of Quranic recitation, it is not every child beggar that is from an Islamic school, since it is not every Islamic school pupil that is a beggar.
A lot of people think that a beggar is a vulnerable child that moves around with torn clothes, but it is not usually the case. People refer to us as beggars. Meanwhile, we are the ones paying for the success and development of the society.
Abdul Qadir said the Quranic Reciters Association of Nigeria has taken it upon itself to review the Almajiri system with a view to addressing the inherent hazards associated with it. He further said efforts are on by the association in conjunction with the House of Representatives towards passing a bill seeking the creation of the Almajiri Commission.
Now, away from Nigeria, Sudan's military and civilian leaders signed a preliminary deal on Monday aimed at ending a deep crisis that has gripped the northeast African country since a coup a year ago. Monday's deal was signed by Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, paramilitary commander Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, and multiple civilian groups, most notable the Forces for Freedom and Change, the main civilian faction that was ousted in coup. The deal, based on a proposal by the Sudanese Bar Association, was negotiated in the presence of officials from the United Nations, Western diplomats, as well as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The past year has seen near weekly protest and a crackdown that pro-democracy medics say that has killed at least 121, a spiraling economic crisis and a rise in ethnic violence in several remote regions. 6 civilians, 4 of them teachers, were killed in a suspected terrorist attack in southern Burkina Faso, close to the border with Ghana, security officials and local sources said on Monday. Gunmen opened fire on a group in the town of Bito on Sunday, a security source said, adding that the attackers had fled to the nearby forest of Nohua after being pursued by security forces. A regional federation of education unions said that 4 teachers at the local high school, including the head teacher, were among the 6 fatalities. Burkina Faso, a poor and landlocked country in the heart of West Africa's Sahel, is struggling with an insurgency that is now in its 8th year. Thousands of civilians, police and security volunteers have died and some 2 million people have fled their homes. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching.